Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we are looking at pre-rendered panes in the... Wait, let's wait till at least 30 seconds into the video before we swear. These are the 10 most stressful moments in Final Fantasy games. These moments aren't just about difficulty, they're about time invested, repeated challenges, and yes, obviously, difficulty. Let's go. Before we continue, we publish content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Absolute Virtue, Final Fantasy XI. Obviously, Final Fantasy XIV is well known at this point as being one of the best MMORPGs of all time, making it hard for people to remember the previous Final Fantasy MMORPG, Final Fantasy XI. One of the big differences between the two was just how much more difficult the battles were in Final Fantasy XI. Among them, Absolute Virtue earned a reputation as a towering super boss, infamous for its brutal difficulty, not only making it arguably the hardest boss in Final Fantasy, but the hardest boss of all time. Defeating it required extensive grinding, mission completion, and carefully crafted strategies to even stand a chance. It would have ranked higher, but it did get toned down in an update just so it wouldn't take 24 hours to beat, which, by the way, it does.
Yeah, dude.
Good shit. Good shit.
No item dungeon, Final Fantasy 15.
Ha! Knew there was a way in.
No red carpet, but a stone staircase is the next best thing.
Final Fantasy 15 is stressful enough when you're just trying to digest arguably one of the neatest stories in the series told in the stupidest episodic way imaginable. But it gets even more stressful. In Final Fantasy 15, Costlemark Tower is the dungeon where item usage is completely disabled once you pass through the sealed door. Widely considered the toughest challenge in the game, it features a level 99 difficulty and demands precise combat skills, smart use of techniques, and well-optimized character builds to survive its many perilous flaws. I'm being very liberal with my estimate as it took me 4 hours, but at the very least, you're looking at 2 hours of hyper focus.
This one's just for you.
Hades, Final Fantasy IX. Back to tough bosses. Originally designed as the game's ultimate test, Hades appears as an overwhelming and nearly unstoppable foe. Armed with a deadly array of powerful spells, he bombards your party with devastating attacks and crippling status effects. Unlike most bosses, Hades isn't really relevant to the game's world and story. The sudden reveal of Hades, the underworld's dark ruler, as a hidden boss is a surprising twist. Only the most prepared adventurers will survive this encounter, as battling Hades pushes the challenge to a whole new level. Jump Rope, Final Fantasy IX. I'm not done talking about Final Fantasy IX. In the PS1 classic, Vivi can come across a group of kids who invite him to join a jump rope minigame, a tough button-mashing challenge that offers various rewards. The goal here is the biggest prize on the list, which means players need to do 1,000 consecutive jumps. That's a long time to be locked in and focused. One mistake and it's goodnight moon. If players somehow manage the incredible feat of landing 1,000 consecutive jumps, Vivi is crowned the King of Jump Rope and receives a special commemorative item. The catch, the item serves absolutely no purpose in the game. Congratulations, you played yourself. Chocobo Race, Final Fantasy X. Many players agree that getting your hands on the Sun Sigil in Final Fantasy X is one of the most frustrating experiences they've ever had in gaming, because getting the Sun Sigil requires you to beat the Chocobo trainer in the Calmlands racing minigame with a perfect time of 0. Realistically, that means grabbing at least 6 or 7 balloons and getting hit by no more than 2 birds. Getting a race finished with a time less than 0 makes no sense. And I'm ashamed to admit this, but my PS2 controller as a kid had bite marks in the handles because I tried to bite through the controller after repeated attempts at this Emerald Weapon, Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII, one of the most celebrated entries in the series, hides several secret bosses outside the main story, bosses which are all designed to truly test your abilities. Among the optional behemoths, Emerald Weapon stands out as one of the deadliest. Just fighting this monstrous opponent is a challenge, but once the battle begins, a countdown timer adds even more pressure. Defeating this mechanical terror demands careful planning and strategy. Charging in won't work. Trust me, if you need advice on how to die quickly, I'm your guy. Roof of Riovanus Castle, Final Fantasy Tactics. There's no question that Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the greatest games ever made, as famously said by me every time I'm vaguely drunk at a party and want to ruin everyone's night. But it also features one of the most frustrating sections in the entire series. Riovanus Castle, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is infamous for a brutal save trap that caused many players to give up before even finishing the game. Players must enter Riovanus Castle, which triggers 3 consecutive battles. You're only allowed to save and access the party screen between fights, and once the sequence begins, there's no turning back. The first battle is relatively easy, involving standard enemies at the castle gates, but after that, the trap is set. If you haven't kept a backup save, you're stuck. No way out, no way to prepare, that's it. Beat it or start the game again. Dodging the lightning bolts, Final Fantasy X. One of the more stressful things we've discovered in the entire Final Fantasy series is when you have to basically lock in. When the game requires your full focus, unbroken, for more than 5 minutes, it may as well be a death sentence. To unlock Lulu's celestial weapon, you need the Venus Sigil, which means you gotta head to the Thunder Plains and dodge 200 lightning bolts. In order to do this, you have to run around and wait till you see a flash. That's your warning to instantly hit X. Timed right, you'll dodge. Rinse, repeat, never have the opportunity to feel true joy ever again. Seitengrat Bow, Final Fantasy XII. Welcome to our first entry from Final Fantasy XII and our 100th entry of rinsing and repeating. On the Sky Ferry deck, there's an invisible chest, which is already stressful enough just knowing this exists and could be found, but there's a mere 1% chance for the invisible chest to actually appear. If it does, there's a 20% chance it'll hold an item, and with the diamond armlet equipped, only a 5% chance that that item will be the elusive Seitengrat, which is what we're trying to get our hands on through rigorous and stressful rinse and repeat. You're looking at odds of 1 in 10,000 every time you step onto the deck, assuming you even know the chest exists. These are not good odds. Excalibur 2, Final Fantasy IX. Our worst example of marathon lock-ins comes here at the end of our list. Excalibur 2, Steiner's ultimate weapon, is only obtainable if you reach the final dungeon, Memoria, in under 12 hours of playtime. Miss it by even a second and the sword is gone for good. Players on PAL systems had it even worse. The game ran at 5/6 the speed of the NTSC version, effectively giving them just 10 hours to make it. I thought Australia was meant to be a paradise. I've been bitten by a snake, stung by a jellyfish, and now this? What the f, mum? Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos.